Hello, welcome back. It's still the big story on Quest today. We were looking at the all-important topic, talking about the environment. And of course, against the backdrop of the World Environment Concerns Day, talking about the World Cleanup Day. I'm not alone here. I'm here with Marvelous.
Yes, we're glad to have you back once again.
And we will be taking on our guest, hopefully, as soon as we get him connected.
Yes, we have him on already.
All right. And we're looking at the challenges of creating and maintaining a green environment. Ediongsenyene is actually the Executive Director of the BlueGreen Initiative for Sustainable Development Network, a non-profit organization with a very strong concern for the management of the environment, with particular focus to the green, the green environment sustainability. When we talk about the green environment, everybody loves good things, but people are not always making themselves available to making these good things happen. Let's get back to our local plan. Yeah, we hope to have him back, and I think we have. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Ediongsenyene. Wow, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid we would have to, get back on this, and if we can get him, hopefully we'll get him to have him join us. But like we talked earlier,
yes.
We talked about education, we talked about enlightenment on the part of government and the civil society organizations. What do you think? What do you make of this environmental enlightenment? Do you think we have them enough?
No, we don't even have, we're not even close to having them. I mean, do you hear any of them around here? Unless maybe there's a challenge, an environmental challenge like flooding.
Before,
yes, we hear something like that. But we just need something that would remind people all the time that, yes, this is how you should go about your waste. This is how you should dispose them. This is where you should take them. This is how, if we have these campaigns, and I think these things get, one thing that the media does, you hear a campaign and it just sticks to your head, it's on your mind, you think about it, and I think that could cause a change. But we don't have a smudge campaign, and that's, I feel that's also part of the reason. People don't even know that they're supposed to do these things this way or that they are not. Because if you, like I talked about meeting someone who was throwing her trash just by the roadside this morning, if she had known that this were to be wrong, I'm sure that she wouldn't be doing it. But she doesn't know. She has no idea that it's even wrong to dispose her refuse that way. That's why they are still doing it. So many persons don't know. You just go to some communities and then the front is for the living and then the back is for throwing refuse. You just throw refuse very close to where you live.
That's a worrisome one. You just said that the front for living, the back for throwing waste.
Yes, it's just so common.
People are not too enlightened, and even if they're enlightened, they always wait for untoward situations before they begin to wake up and pull up their socks with regards to this. But also, have you ever heard about the issue of plant a tree?
Yes.
We're told growing up that when you cut a tree, you must plant two others.
Two others, yes.
I don't know if that still sinks in the hearts of many Nigerians. It's very important.
I think Nigerians are taking this sort of modernization thing a different way. You're building a house, you don't care about planting anything. If at all you want decorations, they go buy artificial flowers. They put artificial flowers in front of the house, and then they floor the entire compound. You won't even see sand in the house, and they think that's modernization.
My auntie, when I mean my auntie, she is a British, but my godmother, every evening she would drag us out of the house and bring the
we have a guest on now
to come and cut the flowers. Thankfully, we have him back. Hello, Ediongsenyene. Good morning. I hope he can hear us. We can hear him, but I'm sure he can hear us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear now.
Well, this morning isn't our day anyway. That connection, but let's still hope we can get him. But also, within the context of what we talked about, there is a need to have more environmental concerned NGOs getting on the floor to assist government to bring about this societal consciousness with regards to environmental management.
Yes.
Because if we don't have this, we'll have a time where even the urban cities, with the urbanization, with the choking up of the cities, we'll have situations where we can't even manage the green environment any longer. For instance, houses are everywhere.
Yes.
There's hardly even any space for a garden. There's even recreational areas are diminishing. Everybody is now growing, building houses, not many people keep gardens in the environment. There was a time in River State.
Can you hear me? Is it better now?
Yeah, I think we have him. Hello, good morning. We can hear you now, faintly.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, a very good morning. Thankfully we have you, Mr.
Finally.
Ediongsenyene. Good morning.
I thank you so very much, and thanks for the amazing work people are doing at the station.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thankfully we have you. Now, tomorrow will be the Environmental Sanitation Celebration of the United Nations under the caption of World Cleanup Day. Why do you think it's very important for the world to be celebrating a World Cleanup Day?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Charles. First, I would say that to me that every day is supposed to be World Cleanup Day because living in a clean environment is supposed to be our right, and of course, if it is our right, it should be our everyday attitude. So it's actually very, very important that a day is set aside to, create awareness, to see that people, come to the knowledge of the fact that they are supposed to be leading a clean lifestyle, and of course to see that they always have their environment clean and of course safe for all, and especially for us in the Niger Delta. It's actually a very significant call at this point. There are triggers that and signals across board. NIMET has actually sent in their early warning signals that state across the Niger Delta is prone to flooding. So with this, I think it's actually very pertinent that it brings to our subconsciousness that we need to keep our environment clean always.
All right, now having said that, you've set a very good foundation. We do know that a very serene green environment will not only bring about good health, will not only bring about sane breathing air, but also bring about tourism and attract so much good to any society or to any city. What do you make about creating a green environment? Yeah. What do you make about creating a green environment, which is lacking in most of our cities?
What signal?
Are you there?
Hello, Mr. Bassey.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I think I can hear you now.
All right, now what do you make about the creation of a green environment? Because the green environment will bring about good health, a sane environment where we have good breathing air, and will also attract tourism. But we lack it in most of the cities in our country. What do you make about the creating and maintenance of a green environment?
Okay, if I got you from the little I could pick. From the little I could pick, this is about us maintaining a green environment.
Absolutely.
And then while I was following up the conversation between you and your co-host, I overheard that I'm talking to the essence of green environment. How she traveled somewhere and saw the green, and she was actually pleasantly surprised, of course fascinated with it. Now we understand the role green plants play in the environment, and of course when it comes to carbon sequestration, and taking our minds back to our basic sciences, you understand that we need this greenery to survive as humans.
Yes.
Being that we give out carbon dioxide and taking oxygen, and plants give us oxygen in return.
Yes.
So you find out that naturally, if you find yourself in a green, serene, and clean environment, you'll be more comfortable and you'll be more relaxed. You understand?
That's
Absolutely.
correct.
Now, apart from the aesthetics, which is actually a very different perspective, when your environment is green, clean, you are doing so many things. But one of it is the conservation of biodiversity. Because in a green environment, other organisms will find their environment to thrive. And so you find out that in such an environment, the soil will be rich, And that means your vegetation will also be doing very well. And of course, if we maintain green environment, the fight against climate change would be, would be won somehow as a result of the contribution of everyone in keeping the environment green and clean.
Now, do you think enlightenment and education in this subject is strong enough to be able to keep these ideals you just mentioned?
Okay, no, it's not really about the enlightenment now. It's about the mindset of the people. You understand?
Yes.
There are people that takes things of public interest as with a laissez-faire attitude, and then there are people that feels nature is inexhaustible. That all they want to do is to exploit. They want to explore and all of the time for their benefit. And that brings me to the three pillars of conservation. Talking about the environment, the social aspect. Tend to focus more on the economic aspect. And if you trace further, you find out that it's because of the attitude, the mindset of the people. So even when you are giving them a orientation, but because of what they are stuck with, our forefathers used to do like this. Our forefathers used to do this, and so we are continuing the footsteps of our forefathers. But they are not taking into consideration the population explosion we are having at the moment. That in a community many years ago, there could be as many as 6 people living in a community, but and in some communities there will be less than 30, and you find out that the breeding will be enough for all of them, irrespective of their activities. Okay. But with the population explosion, you find out that the land is not even enough, and we are exploiting unsustainably. So there's serious need for reorientation, whereby the mind of the people are reoriented to the conservation of the environment. And with that, if the mind of the people is given the right orientation, whatever public enlightenment is given will be a plus. And you find out that the enlightenment now will amplify the effort of the people whose mind is made up to conserve nature, to see that they keep the environment clean all of the time. And one of the ways this can be done is, for instance, in Akwa Ibom, where I'm engaging from, you go to the Ibno area, and then you take them, you show them right away what is happening, what the multinationals are doing, gas flaring all of the time with the fire burning 24/7. And then you tell them what is happening in that place, and then also share with them what their action could cause as a result of what is already happening in the environment. So that if they keep cutting down trees, already their environment is burnt, is set ablaze all of the time, and if they keep cutting down trees again, that they will exacerbate the impact of what is happening already, and the people and even other organisms in the environment will be affected, and it will end up affecting their livelihood the more. So you will find out that with that live experience or live encounter they've got to see with their very eyes, and of course given their years of experience what is happening in their environment, they will easily adjust and adapt to and adopt methods that will aid in the process of environmental conservation.
Yes, okay, hello, Ediongsenyene. Marvelous talked about hello, Ediongsenyene. Marvelous talked about people consciously trying to bring about a serene environment, and in an attempt to do so, people bring out artificial aesthetics and all of that. Perhaps put it in your own words.
So, I mean, that's about urbanization. Do you think that urbanization, we are taking it the wrong way, how people now have abandoned planting trees and flowers like we used to have? Normally, you build an apartment, you have flowers in front, you have trees, and nowadays people just build these mansions and you see artificial flowers, plastic.
I think, can you recap the question, please?
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, Ediongsenyene. Are you still on the line?
Hello, are you on the line?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm asking how rapid urbanization and industrialization is impacting Nigeria's green spaces. Like in those days, we used to have people build houses, they plant trees, they plant flowers. But nowadays, they build mansions and all you see are artificial flowers in front or somewhere in the compound. Do you think that urbanization is the cause of this?
Okay, yeah. Before I get to talk about modernization, I had mentioned population explosion
Okay.
as a problem. 1. 2. Ignorance. Ignorance of the people. You know, every rich person, let me not even say wealthy person, every rich person in our climate, you know, once you're able to make a few million, you feel you've arrived, and then you want to do away with everything natural. You just want to live your best of life.
Yes.
You know, buying all the things that you feel that is being put out there without considering your impact on the environment, even on your health. Some people go as far as that because they want to follow trend ignorantly. You understand? So the first is not the first is ignorance, not even the modernization.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about modernization, what is it really about? In my opinion, I would say if your parents were living in a thatched house and you can afford a brick house or a concrete house on the same location, what stops you from taking down the mud house or the thatched house and erecting a beautiful structure where that thatched house was? That's modernization. Now, if you follow this trend, you do not need to go and clear a different land to build a different house. You know, by that you are displacing organisms that were living in that place, causing biodiversity loss, because most of them get stranded and most of them get killed in the process. That's an aspect. Now too, they introduced landscaping into modern houses, in quotes, modern in quotes.
Yes.
And you forget that you can also landscape with the natural resources around us. How do I mean? Whatever artificial stuff that is out there is a copy of nature. Even the aeroplane we fly today, you will find out that they model it after natural beings like birds.
Yes.
And they study the way of the birds on how they fly and all of that. So whatever artificial thing we are getting is a copy. And we keep saying that photocopy can never be like the original. So it is common sense that even when we are trying to be modern, we should adopt eco-friendly measures to our modern lifestyle. And the truth is, the Oyibo people that are pushing these things down our throat, if you go to their countries, they enjoy the best of natural scenarios. You understand?
Yes.
So then, is it not foolish, if I dare use that word, foolish, of us, that we adopt the things that are pushing on us while they are living a different lifestyle away from what they are pushing down our ways? So you find out that it's a thing of choice. It's a thing of attitude to how we conserve, our attitude towards the environment, our attitude towards nature. So we tend to displace nature and bring in all the artificial stuff.
All right, Ediongsenyene, we tend to displace nature. Hello,
yes,
just hold your frame of thought there.
Yes, sir.
You said you tend to displace nature. Let me just ask this question. There's a usual environmental cliche put out by environmentalists. If you fight environment, the environment fights you back.
Yes.
And if you take care of the environment takes care of you. Would you like to explain this against the backdrop of what you've just said?
Okay, now let me bring in a different coinage. I say this all of the time, that if you do not take care of the environment, that the environment has a way of taking care of itself, or nature rather. If you do not take care of nature, nature has a way of taking care of itself. And if we allow nature to take care of itself, we'll be the victims. How do I mean? let me connect the dots. Take for instance what is happening in Lekki. Sometime last year,
that's in the Lagos
people
area.
were displaced. Yeah, people were displaced. Why were they displaced? Because they displaced nature. They went into the swamps, they went into the wetlands, reclaimed the land, and built modern edifices in quote modern. And when nature wanted to revolt, of course, it is said that water does not lack a passage.
It must
When
find
nature
space.
wanted to
Yes.
revolt, all of their multi-million naira investment was gone, and they started crying foul. Whereas they were the first that went to nature to look for trouble by reclaiming those lands. That's a very clear example, and other examples abound across the country and the continent. You understand? Whereas we could adopt to eco-friendly infrastructures, we don't really need to struggle space with nature. Nature has given us abundance of resources for us to use and enjoy ourselves as much as possible while still conserving it. And
Alright.
that brings us to sustainable development.
All right, I was coming there.
Yes, go on.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that brings us to sustainable development. And what is sustainable development? It is us satisfying our need at the moment without jeopardizing the possibility of future generation meeting their own needs. You understand? So
Yes.
if we keep displacing nature, we are not developing sustainably. And for me, so long I'm concerned, there is no kind of modernity to it. There is no way you will put it for me, because we will leave the shores of our country, go to the countries of those guys that are pushing those stuffs, producing those stuffs and sending it down to us, and you find out that these guys are enjoying the best of nature.
Okay.
All right, can we domesticate it now to our climb? These challenges we're talking about. We live in the Niger Delta, where most of the communities are between 4 to 10 meters below the sea level. Now, could you tell us, against the backdrop of this enlightenment or wrong use or wrong protection of the environment, how will it pay back to us, or how does it pay us back? Because we're faced with the reality, flooding around the corner.
Yes.
And then we're looking at the issues of global warming and climate change and all of that. And we're talking about cleaning the environment. We may clean everywhere, then tomorrow we have no environment to call our own. So how can we domesticate these challenges in a way that we can have it sustainable here in our region, the Niger Delta?
Okay, first, I will bring it to our lifestyle. What's our lifestyle like? Especially our consumption lifestyle. Let me indict the female gender a bit.
With the
You
permission
find out
to
that every weekend, every other market day, a lady will save up money, go to the market and go to the OK section of the market and pack so many clothing at a cheaper rate, and you find out that in the end most of these clothing she ends up not using them. And where do you think this will land? Sometimes they burn it and send carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and we know the role carbon dioxide plays in the climate change nexus. Two, some of them dump these clothing anywhere they find, and this clothing ends up in the gutter, blocking the waterways.
All right, I'm afraid we'll have to go for a short
Still
break
on
here. Hello,
consumption.
Ediongsenyene. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hold your frame of thought. We'll
I
have to
can
go on
hear
a short break here. We'll get back to you shortly. Let's go on this short break, and when we come back, we'll
Okay.
wrap up the discussion and probably show the lines to our viewer
Okay.
to add value to the discussion. Don't go away, just stay on the line. We'll be back with you shortly.